I got this one last week from a student. Your wife is like a low-key baddie. And they said it in the most complimentary way possible. Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm an educator with a new job and a new commute this year. This podcast is you along for the drive. This is my drive time diary. Today what's on my mind is my wife and the intersection of that with my students. So I don't like put a lot of effort into hiding my Instagram and my TikTok. I don't advertise the TikTok, but kids found out this year also. So it's findable. It's public. I don't hide it. It's boring teacher stuff mostly. Sometimes it is pictures of me and my wife. My kids don't usually go on there. So anyway, my students this year, some of them have been very interested in social media stalking Mr. Baker, which is fine, I guess. It's part of my public persona, and I am of the opinion that yes, it is important how teachers conduct themselves online, and part of our lives is online now. So to say that what happens online doesn't matter or isn't part of who I am as a person is not factual, I think. It gets a little like there's a teacher in the St. Louis area recently, kind of south of the main area, but the exurbs, I guess you would say, that through a couple other connections, her school found out about her OnlyFans account and fired her, put her on leave or something. And then there was a lot of discussion on the news or online about should the school care, well, even in our lunchroom, should the school care about what teachers are doing online, specifically with that. It is for adults, I guess, and I hear it's behind a paywall or something. I've never done that, so I don't know the full logistics of this. But I am of the opinion of that's just another part of our social contract. If you are a teacher, then you are a public figure. To quote the famous Charles Barkley, I didn't sign up to be a role model or something. That was his quote from the 90s. I'm not a role model, I think is what Charles Barkley said when the media called him out for being a bad example to kids who wanted to grow up and be professional basketball players. I am of the opinion that part of the social contract is that teachers are role models in the classroom and out. And so I use my socials as another way to be that role model. I don't tell kids to go and look at it, but I don't make it, I don't hide it. In the same way that if, when I used to live by my students, when I lived in the same neighborhood as my students up until this school year, if a student walked by my house, I would not run inside and conceal myself. If I saw them coming, I wouldn't go the other way, but I also wouldn't invite them into my house and tell them all to come over, which I think would be the equivalent to, hey everybody, come check out all my social media. But if they exist in the same public space, then they're there and I'm there. Anyway, so that was a 4-minute introduction to say his student in one of my classes, I guess, was looking at several pictures of me with my wife, and she told me that she thought my wife was low-key a baddie. So I gotta dissect. Still about 64% of the audience is 45 and older, according to the Spotify analytics. So let me dissect some of that for you, if you are not of the generation to know that. Lowkey means that the other 30% of the audience is like, come on, Mr. Baker. But low-key is like, people wouldn't guess it, but it's definitely true. I am, what's something I'm low-key at? I guess for a while I was low-key into Marvel movies. Me and my wife binged all of the MCU movies at the very beginning of the pandemic when, nothing new was on, and we were trying to find stuff to do. And so I low-key got really into that and was looking up the news to see, like the cinema news, to see what phase, whatever of the MCU was going to be. I didn't make a huge deal about that, but I was very into it. I'm not low-key into math. I think that's probably pretty obvious. I'm not low-key into my wife. I am probably strangely obsessed with her, and it's we are besties. Alright, so low-key. Wouldn't really guess it, but it's true. And then a baddie. So here's the baddie definition. According to this Urban Dictionary posting, it says a baddie is a bad girl who is always on fleek. On fleek is like looking put together. And quote, slaying the game. Most of the time, these baddies grew up being bullied or lacking confidence. Now they have confidence to be themselves and do what they dreamed of doing all this time. They have self-respect and they fight for what they believe in and like having fun, like going to parties, throwing parties, etc. From a good little girl that nobody thought was going nowhere to a baddie that is successful in life. And then they use it in a sentence here. Oh my gosh, this posting is from 2016, so maybe this is an old word. It says Ariana Grande was a good little girl to a grown woman and slaying the game. She a baddie. That's from 2016. I'm now seeing there's a different one here from 2019. A baddie is a girl who is super attractive. She slays whatever she's wearing, from a dress to sweatpants. They have self-respect and they fight for what they believe in. Female who can hold her own and take care of herself. She is pretty and independent. Oh, she a baddie. That's the sentence context for that one. So, according to UrbanDictionary.com, yes, I think my wife is a baddie. She just exists in this zone to me where she just consistently looks attractive and is just put together. She does not go out like ever and just like look bad. There's like never times where I am with her where if I were prone to this that I would be embarrassed by how she looks or something. I know there are some people who have like a put together persona and then who is that person I don't recognize in persona, and that is definitely not my wife. And she, as far as the other things, not just the looks, she is just super confident, and it's been really cool to watch her grow in the almost 18 years we've been married, 17 and a half or so. Just to find her, to watch her find herself and become more confident in who she is as a person. I've talked before on this podcast about watching her grow as a homeschooling mom and all the things that she's learned as an educator now, and watching her grow as just a mom in general, from the first kid who's now almost 14 to now our youngest, and just all the iterations and seasons of parenting that I've watched her learn and grow through, and just like always know what to do. Part of that is she's low-key an internet maverick that can just Google and research like crazy. If she and I are Googling things together, she will always beat me to get the best answer. And we will like even put in the same search terms. So all I can conclude is that she's just spent like her entire adult life curating her Google account, that it just knows what to give her first. So hopefully my AI will catch up, but she's just a amazing researcher, and part of that gives her just the ability to act in confidence in any situation, and to have the information that she needs to make wise decisions, and to know the right questions to ask, and to know when she needs more help and when she needs to bring in another thinking partner. So my wife is low-key a baddie, and I am so proud to know her, and so glad that my student was able to recognize that, and then I can now appreciate that about my wife. So that's all that's on my mind today. Wife appreciation post of October. Oh, it's like Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Go women. So to my now 14% male audience, go appreciate a woman in your life today, and to the 84% of you females that are here according to the Spotify analytics, thank you for all you do as mothers and wives and sisters and daughters, and just for sharing your gifts with the world. That's all I got for today. Thanks for coming on the drive. This is Drive Time Diaries. See y'all next time.